The Tale of Malabar Vanilla Beans, an ancient spice, a secret twin, and a curious fish. A feature by Nilgiri Martin Spices.
You know, we all think we know vanilla. It's in everything. But what if I told you the story of the world's most popular flavor involves drifting continents, a secret geological twin, and a history that is way, way richer than you could ever imagine? So, let's start with a little riddle. What in the world connects the monsoon rains in India to the vanilla bean? It sounds totally random, right? But the answer is this incredible story of geology and flavor that actually stretches back millions of years. To find that answer, we have to go way back in time. I'm talking 150 million years ago, when the world map looked nothing like it does today. Back then, the land that would become India and Madagascar were actually welded together in one giant supercontinent, Gondwana. Then, around 88 million years ago, this absolutely massive volcanic cataclysm literally tore them apart. And here is where it gets super interesting. That split wasn't clean. See, what are now the Western Ghats Mountains in India and the highlands of Madagascar? They used to be the exact same mountain range. When they broke apart, the Earth basically created two geological twins, now separated by the vast Indian Ocean. Because they shared that same ancient origin, both places, thousands of miles apart, have these amazingly similar environments. You've got hot, humid climates, tons of rain, incredibly fertile soil, and just bursting with biodiversity. They're like ecological cousins, which makes them two of the absolute best spots on the planet for growing spices. But here's the twist. The vanilla orchid isn't actually native to either of those places. Nope. Its own story is a whole other adventure, a global journey that starts in ancient Mexico and eventually ends up right in the rainforests of our two twin ecosystems. And the plant itself, Vanilla planifolia, is just so special. Think about this. The orchid family is the biggest family of flowering plants on Earth. And out of all of those tens of thousands of species, this is the only one that gives us something we can eat. That little bean is a true outlier. For centuries, vanilla was a closely guarded secret, first by the Totonac people in Mexico. Even after the Spanish brought it to Europe, you could only grow it in Mexico. Why? Because only one specific species of bee there knew the trick to pollinating the flower. That all changed in the 1800s, thanks to one revolutionary discovery that let vanilla go global, landing in places like, you guessed it, Madagascar and India. And that game changer? It was a simple, brilliant technique for pollinating the orchid by hand. And it was invented in 1841 by Edmond Albius, who was just a 12-year-old boy enslaved on the French island of Réunion. It's just incredible. His discovery single-handedly unlocked vanilla for the rest of the world. But even with that technique, getting from a flower to that flavor we love is, well, it's an incredibly delicate and demanding job. It's a journey of patience and pure hard work, which is exactly why real vanilla is the second most expensive spice on the planet, right behind saffron. And get this. This is a wild statistic. Because it's so hard to produce, less than 1% of all the vanilla flavor we consume actually comes from a real vanilla orchid. The rest is just a synthetic chemical. So that tiny 1%, that's the real deal we're talking about today. You know, when you pick a vanilla bean, it's green and it has no smell or taste at all. The magic happens in this long, months-long curing process. First, they kill the bean in hot water to kickstart the flavor chemistry. Then they're wrapped up in blankets to sweat, which helps them ferment. After that, it's weeks and weeks of slow drying in the sun. And finally, they're aged for months in boxes to develop that deep, complex aroma we know and love. And to really put all that work into perspective, look at this. You need 5 to 6 kilograms of those fresh green pods just to make 1 single kilogram of the final cured vanilla beans. That's a huge amount of effort and natural essence packed into every single bean. Which brings us right back to our geological twins. It's time to put them head to head. We're going to compare the undisputed king of the vanilla world, Madagascar, with the rising star from its long-lost twin, the state of Kerala in India. Okay, so Madagascar is the giant. No question about it. The island produces something like 80% of the world's entire supply of natural vanilla. It's the benchmark. But that's where Kerala has found its sweet spot, focusing not on churning out huge quantities, but on crafting a truly premium, top-tier product. So how do they actually taste? Well, Madagascar bourbon is that classic profile, you know. It's rich, creamy, sweet, and smooth. But then you look at Kerala vanilla. It's more complex, almost symphonic. You get that same rich creaminess, but on top of it, there are these amazing notes of dark chocolate and fig, and this warm, woody, spicy character that comes straight from where it's grown. And this isn't just fluffy language, okay? The science actually backs it up. Vanillin is the main chemical that screams vanilla. And if you look at high-quality Kerala vanilla, the vanillin levels don't just match Madagascar's, they can actually be higher. And top chefs who get their hands on it are totally sold. Listen to this from renowned chef Ritu Dalmia, talking about vanilla from Cork, which is right next to Kerala. She says it has a strong flavor and a delicate aroma. It's better than any imported vanilla I've used. I mean, that's a huge endorsement. This whole difference really comes down to a super important idea in food right now: single origin. And it's not just some buzzword. It's a whole philosophy that ties the flavor of what you're eating directly to one specific place and the people who grew it. The magic word here is terroir. You hear it with wine all the time. It's a French word, and it basically means the taste of a place. It's this idea that the soil, the weather, the altitude, even the other plants growing nearby, all work together to create a unique flavor you just can't copy anywhere else. And you can see Kerala's unique terroir right here. It gets hit by 2 different monsoons, which keeps things humid. The soil is this rich forest soil. The high altitude makes the beans grow slower, which concentrates their flavor. And here's the coolest part. It's often grown mixed in with other crops like pepper and cardamom trees, which subtly add their own character to the vanilla's final aroma. So this is what single origin promises you. You get complete traceability. You know exactly who grew your food and where. You get to taste a flavor that is so much more complex because it's not all blended together. And when you choose it, you're directly supporting small farms and the kind of sustainable, biodiverse farming that makes this amazing quality possible in the first place. So we've gone from the breakup of a supercontinent all the way to the art of curing a single spice bean. We've seen how 2 lands torn apart millions of years ago became these ecological twins, both perfect for creating this flavor the whole world loves. So the next time you taste real vanilla, maybe you'll think about that incredible, ancient story hidden deep inside the bean.